with us today. And they have a little bit going on for 2020. I'm not here in this park, but in the chain of the SeaWorld parks, they're all sporting their icebreaker gear. Love those jackets. With us today, we have Alex Tanner, who's a project engineer in ride development. John Byrne is the ride marketing engineer. And Paul Brenckle, a mechanical engineer, all with Premier Rides. So there's a lot of engineering heading your way. So start thinking about your questions. Come on up. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate you driving down, taking your Saturday to share some coaster fun with all of us.
Hello, you guys can hear me? Yep. Well, thank you guys for having us. As was mentioned before, we're from Premier Rides. I just want to say thank you to Busch Gardens, and SeaWorld, and ACE for having us, and for hosting and organizing this event. We really appreciate it. Premier, my name is Alex Tanner. I'm a project engineer in ride development. This is John Byrne. He is also a project engineer in ride development, ride marketing engineer, and Paul Brenckle is another one of our project engineers. So before we get started, I wanted to start with an icebreaker. It's in a game that I'm sure you're all very familiar with. It's the coaster count game. So we usually do this with a crowd that probably doesn't have as many credits as you guys do. So I apologize if it gets really high. So I want you guys to keep your hands up, and I'm going to just keep increasing the number, and the last person with their hand up wins. All right, so keep your hands up. 25. I'm just going to keep going because I have a feeling this is going to get real high. 100, 150, 200. It's still a lot of hands up. Oh my goodness. Usually this is like the end here. 250, 300. Okay, I'm gonna start going by hundreds. 400, 500, 600, 700. Oh my goodness. 800, 1,000. Oh, I think we got a winner. So I think our prizes are actually over there, but you are welcome. Oh, no, they're up here. I apologize. You get a pick from the prize cash.
Wow. Yeah. I gotta wait.
Yeah, what was
we
the...
have to know how many. 1,097.
So the next question is kind of Premier Rides theme. Has anyone here ridden all the Premier Rides coasters in North America, or do you know? Because if you haven't, okay, well, for the rest of us, we did a little work for you guys. We planned the whole route to hit them all. It starts here in Williamsburg, and it finishes in Orlando just in time for Icebreaker's opening. And look at that IRS reimbursement. I mean, easy decision. Yeah. It's 21 coasters in 18 different parks, including Canada and Mexico. So this year is Premier's 25th anniversary. We've been making rides since 1995, which is really exciting for us. We have Sorry, one second. There we go. We have projects all over the world internationally. We have projects that range from big coasters to, we do a lot of service projects. We've got rides in, from California to Indonesia, India, China. So this is really exciting for us to reach this milestone. But I know you guys want to talk about recent projects. So some of the recent projects we want to talk about today are Icebreaker, which is our ride going in for 2020 in SeaWorld Orlando, which we're really clearly excited about since we're all sporting the apparel. West Coast Racers, which just opened up in Magic Mountain in Valencia, and a Robotic Arm Coaster that we're working on in China, which is a really exciting, innovative project for us. So to start, we've got Icebreaker. This is going into SeaWorld Orlando. We're really excited about this project. It's a new kind of project for us. And I'm going to start with hopefully this video works. Yeah, so that's the promotional video. It's very exciting. SeaWorld did an amazing job with that. They really went with it and ran. So right now, let's start with some cold hard facts. So I know the one statistic that you all care the most about is 15 seconds of airtime, which I'm very excited about. It's got Florida's steepest drop at 100 degrees, which is the junior scorpion tail, the backward spike. It's got 4 launches, rocking launches, 52 maximum miles an hour, 2,950 feet of track travel when you add up all the rocks, and it's got 1 high-speed track switch, which is different than a lot of the switches that you see on other rides that the track switches and the train navigates the track. But this switch actually moves with the vehicle on the track, so it's kind of like part of the ride experience. I think it'll take a lot of people by surprise. It's exciting. So this past IAAPA, I'm sure a lot of you guys were there. Maybe you were at the event, but we were able to reveal the new vehicle for Icebreaker. I think it came out really well. I had no part in this, so you can trust when I say that I think it looks great. Yeah, the guys did a good job. Yeah, and the ride also does have a 48-inch rider height requirement, so I'm really excited about that. The ride is designed to be a high-thrill family coaster, but I think a lot of you guys are going to be surprised with how intense but smooth and comfortable the ride is going to be. So recently, SeaWorld Orlando had a Hardhat Tour, so we have a bunch of really great photos that we got from a bunch of really great people who took the photos. So shout out to all the people who provided us with these imagery. So what we see here is, this is the top hat. You're looking outside the station here. You can see the high-speed track switch right here in the foreground and the top hat in the background. This is looking in the opposite direction. So you have the launch track to the left here. This is one of the double ups and the junior scorpion tail. And this is looking at the same section of ride from the other direction. The ride's got a lot of airtime. It's going to be a really fun ride, really engaging. This is taken from the bottom of the top hat. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have for Icebreaker, did you want to talk about those? Yeah.
So West Coast Racers, yeah, they just had a, they opened up just before Christmas, got a great Christmas gift from Magic Mountain, which was great. Anybody get to go out and ride the ride yet? Awesome. What'd you think? Good. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. It was, yeah, we're really excited about this one as well. I was fortunate enough, I did get to ride. Hopefully all of you make it out there at some point, but it's a ton of fun. The interactions are great, and I just had a ton of fun with it. So here are some, I think we have a few pictures of the ride in action. The interactions are great each race. You get to go around 2 times, so you race once and then you come around, you race again, if you haven't heard about that. But yeah, I hope you guys all make it, and like I said, a ton of fun, really smooth ride, and great interactions. But I'll turn this over to Paul. He'll can't say a whole lot about this next ride, but he'll tell you a little bit about it.
All right, so the next project I'm going to talk about is the Robotic Arm Coaster we're building at Sunek in Guangzhou, China. I don't know if you're too familiar with that park, but they already have the Intamin Dueling Dragons coaster there. But this is where we're building this coaster. So what it is, it's a humongous chassis, and we're putting a KUKA robot on top of it. Very difficult challenges have come up with this, but we're making it work. So at the end of the robot, yeah, I can't. So at the end of the KUKA robot, we'll have 4 passengers able to sit across, and it will have over-the-shoulder restraints. And you'll be able to move back and forth, kind of like you're on Forbidden Journey down at Universal Orlando. But it will also have a coaster section. So we can't really release too many pictures. These ones were already released online, so that's why we're allowed to share them. The park, we're not allowed to release that many pictures. But what you're gonna do, am I allowed to step up on the stage? All right, thanks. So right here is the load station. And then you're gonna come out, go around this turn, you got some show scenes, a bunch of stuff, you'll go all the way around here, some domes and all that. And then once you finally get here, oh, no, sorry, the other straight section that I can't reach because I'm too short, there's a little bit of a launch. And then you go down into a spiral part of the roller coaster section, and there will be some effects going on, and then there will be a little hill, and you'll turn back around to the left and go up into a brake run and do a couple more show scenes. And then the unload station is at the bottom. There is a lift hill, but you do not get to ride it. My apologies. So it's only 9/10 of a credit.
Okay, thank you, Paul and John, I appreciate it. So we're kind of at the tail end of our presentation, so I wanted to do some Premier Rides themed trivia for our 25th anniversary, and it's for prizes, which I know everyone here seems to be really into. So just raise your hand as quick as you can, like buzzer style, and we'll call on you, and if you get the right answer, then you win a prize. Okay, so the first question is, name every Skyrocket 2 model. If you don't know what a Skyrocket 2 is, then I can, okay.
Skyscream in Germany, Superman in California, Tempesto, Tigris, definitely missing one. Oh, Phobia, and how many? I forgot the rest. 4.
Okay. Who's the next one? Which one?
Okay, Tempesto, Tigris, Superman, Phobia, Fear, Skyscream. There's like a zombie one in Mexico.
Yes.
Okay. How many more do you have?
You have 3 more.
Okay. I don't know.
Should I give it in?
One more. Let's try one more. We'll see whoever gets the closest.
Okay.
Alright. Tempesto, Tigris, Electric Eel, Phobia, Skyscream. How many is there? How many is there? Oh. There's one in Mexico, right?
Name it.
I don't know the name.
They eat dead people, or they're dead people, but they eat others.
They brains. Whatever.
Zombies? Yeah. I don't know.
Anyone else?
We got it.
Okay, you guys tied at 6, is that right? We got one more.
Monster, Tigris, Superman, Electric Eel, Tempesto, Phobia Fear Coaster, Skyrocket. That's what's
It actually is called Skyrocket.
Okay. Height. Then Skyscream. What is it?
You said Skyscream, Skyrocket, Hype, Electric Eel. You said them so fast I couldn't hear them.
Tigers. Did I say zombie?
Yeah.
I'm still missing one.
What was the first one you said?
I don't know.
Monster?
Wait,
There is a
not
one called-
monster, zombie. I think that's what that's.
Oh, okay. So
Did I say Superman?
that's 7.
Come on. Wait.
You got all the international ones.
Okay, I'm not sure where the count is right now, but I think either way,
won?
we've got at least 7.
Yeah.
So far, you're the winner. And for the sake of time, let's move things along.
What are we missing?
One up for a prize.
So, Superman, Skyscream, and this is in order that they were built. Superman at Discovery Kingdom, Skyscream in Germany, Tempesto at beautiful Busch Gardens, Zombie Ride in Mexico, Phobia at Compounds, Hype in Finland, Skyrocket, that was the wild card, Skyrocket in China, and Electric Eel and Tigers. Okay, next question. Which Premier Rides coaster has not 1, not 2, but 5 track switches? Hint, there's 2 of them. This is the first hand I saw.
I was going to say West Coast Racer has to have at least.
That,
West Coast Racer?
think I saw that hand first, actually.
Which one? Which one?
Right here.
Mommy?
Mummy is correct. Is
Same red.
4 lateral track switches and 1 rotary switch. These questions are kind of engineering based because we're all nerds.
When I saw that question, I only found 4. I forgot about the maintenance track switch.
What was Premier's first launch coaster?
Yeah. Come on up for a prize.
Flight Fear. Also, there's 2 of those ones as well. Okay, this is kind of a more challenging question. And you may need to know the layout to get it. If I can figure out. How many crossovers does West Coast Racers have? Oh.
Did you read?
5 seconds? Guess a number.
4.
4? Not quite.
No. I saw his hand next.
Oh, the crossover, we define crossover as the track crossing over itself. Just to be clear, sorry, yeah.
All right, you were next.
3.
How many?
3.
A little bit more than that.
6.
Not quite.
Keep going up.
Oh, wow.
No looking it up. 8.
Keep going.
Keep going.
So don't forget, you get to ride this ride twice. You go around and you make 2 laps. So we're talking about the entire ride cycle here.
10.
More than that.
Stick around and guess. 32?
No, not that high.
16.
Is that right?
Close.
17.
The other way.
All right, in the big fat wolf shirt.
Also close.
14.
That is correct.
Okay, so and then we have one more bonus question, and this is an easy one.
John will let
Well, who's the youngest ACE member here? Yeah? I'm trusting you guys. I mean, I don't know. Or
Is the little one a back member yet?
I think you know.
Okay, we have a kid who's 12, younger.
Yeah?
Anyone younger than 12?
Both come up, both you guys. Okay, now that we've asked you guys some questions, now it's your turn. Oh. Well, now it's your turn to ask us some questions, so anything you got.
For the robotic arm coaster, how many cars on each train? That's a pretty big chassis car, right?
Each train is 4 coaches and 4 robots.
So 16 people per train.
It's a big train.
Oh, and 8 trains. Not all in operation at the same time.
When was the decision to add comfort collars first in place?
When was
When was the decision for comfort colors to first come in place?
It's project to project. There's no like specific answer. I don't know.
But it was for Tempesto, and I believe there was a survey given by the park where people would feel more comfortable if they had restraints over their shoulders if they're going upside down. Which one?
Do you have a favorite ride or roller coaster?
Yeah, all of us can answer that. I really like West Coast Racers a lot.
Yeah, I had to say West Coast Racers because I worked on that ride, so that's my default.
Yeah, I've already said I had a ton of fun on West Coast Racers. Obviously, I love Tempesto. I have to admit, don't yell at me, but it's actually the only Skyrocket 2 that I've gotten to ride myself so far. But it's a great ride. I could ride it over and over again.
Or Phoenix. One of those two.
And I grew up going to Kennywood, so I'd have to say Jackrabbit.
Could we get your favorite rides from other manufacturers?
Our favorite rides from other manufacturers. Because it follows the topography, I would say Helix at Leesburg.
I have to be honest, keeping it local, I love Invader. I could ride that ride over and over and over again. It's just a ton of fun.
Phoenix or Boulder Dash, probably.
Do you have any advice for an aspiring roller coaster engineer or for some looking to get into the industry?
John, you want to answer that?
Yeah, I can touch on that. I would say that it's any way you can get involved in the industry to start that's a great way to start. I mean, education is key. If you are looking at the design and engineering side of things, you want to plan your school workout so you're working for an engineering degree, whether it's mechanical, civil, electrical. But I think it's important to point out also that if you want to get involved in the industry, there are a lot of other aspects to the industry besides just, we're all engineers, so we sort of lean that direction, but there's the sales and marketing side and promotion and theming design and graphic design and park operations. So, there are a ton of ways to get involved in the industry, not just with engineering and numbers, but the other thing I'll say this as well is that I got my start in the industry working in ride maintenance, and that was a great experience for me. As I was going to school, I did ride maintenance, and it gave great perspective for how the park is run and what goes on behind the scenes. So,
where did you do ride maintenance?
I worked ride maintenance for Dorney Park up in Pennsylvania.
And another thing is, there are a lot of universities in the United States now, including Ryerson in Toronto. A lot of universities have just a club or a group of students who all want to work in the theme park industry. Again, it's kind of engineering heavy for the people in the groups, but I know for myself, I went to Penn State and there's a theme park engineering group there, but there's probably 20 universities around the United States that have them. Most of them are the big schools, Penn State, Ohio State, Texas, Florida. I know UCF has a lot of business students that are trying to get into the theme park industry as well.
Yeah, just one final note too is it's a small industry, so like doing what you're doing already, you're already on path, like going to ACE events and meeting people in the industry. I mean, this is just a great way to just get involved and just see as many people as you can. So.
My question is around what part you guys play in the manufacturing of your coasters? I know you do some of it, but how much is outsourced? How much of the manufacturing process is for your rides, for the rides you design? Yeah, what role do you play in the manufacturing of the rides that you design?
So, like the three of us individually, you mean, or Premier? You know, I mean, the process of a new ride installation is, you know, we might go to the client with an idea. The client might come to us with an idea, but it'll start on some level there. They are the client, so we always work towards whatever they're asking. We work our best to give them exactly what they're asking for. But from that point, we will present, you know, some simulations, drawings, conceptual ideas. We'll have a little bit of a back and forth on that, get some feedback, and once we get a contract signed, that's when we go into the detailed design phase. We work through the design phase, go into fabrication, and then installation, and we do extensive testing to make sure everything works properly, that it's safe, that it is actually performing the way it's supposed to. And from that point on, we pass it over to the client and it goes to the public. Yeah, the details of the fabrication process isn't something we can really get into, but
I will say though, and you're gonna get this answer for a lot of these questions, which is it's project to project too. There's no one answer.
Are there any plans for the robotic arm roller coasters to go to America?
You're asking, are there any other robotic arm coasters?
Or are there plans for them to be built in America?
We can't give any details.
Yeah, I was wondering, my wife is a Pittsburgher. She would kill me if I didn't ask about Skyrocket in some form or fashion. Can you guys talk about the Skyrocket, how it's kind of evolved as a model from the early Skyrocket that was installed at Kennywood, and how it's kind of grown up through the years?
I can try my best to talk a little bit about that. I have to say that the original Skyrocket in Kennywood was actually that took place before any of the three of us worked at Premier, so we weren't directly involved in that. But I know that I'll call out Paul a little bit because he did work at Kennywood and he worked out on the ride a little bit as ride maintenance. But I know that I can tell you that I love the ride as a fan. I always make sure I get a couple rides on every time I visit the park. But I think transitioning from that ride to the Skyrocket 2 model, they're really different ride experiences. If I don't know how many of you guys have ridden both versions, but I think and maybe I'm stating the obvious, but I think one of the great things about the Skyrocket 2 model that's proven to be so successful is it just packs a tremendous amount of thrill in such a small footprint. And you look, I have to admit, when I first saw the ride myself, I'm thinking about it, what is it really doing? And then when I looked at it and really saw the ride operate, it's a great ride experience. I think it provides a whole lot more than you would think at first. And I think that's one of the reasons it's been so successful for us. So.
And it was the first LSM launch coaster that we had made. So there are changes to that train, because that was the first train for the first LSM launch coaster we had done. There were changes that we had made just over time to make it better and just easier to make and work better for the park and maintenance-wise as it's progressed over time.
of things go into a ride going from, hey, we're opening in May or March to, we have no idea when we're opening? Because obviously some of your rides you've had some birthing difficulties.
Sorry, I didn't quite hear you, I'm sorry.
Sorry, obviously various times you've had some rides that, for various reasons, the timeline has slipped on. We're opening from X to, we don't really know. What's some of the things that go into a ride birthing process when it starts getting more and more difficult? Ride construction process.
What was that about the construction process?
Outside, when things go from, we hope to open now to, we're not really sure when we're going to be open.
Kind of like, we think we're going to open on X date, but we end up opening on X plus 2.
I'm sorry, you're asking, like, if we have a projected opening date, but if there's...
I'll let Alex and John answer this one.
So, is that kind of like ride opening dates? I think we're the only people who can't hear the questions though. So, there's a lot of factors involved. Like opening dates are usually decided, the park comes and they say, hey, we want to ride, this is the opening date, and, we plan backwards from there. A lot of factors are involved. Roller coasters are very, very complicated, machines. So, it really could be a number of factors. So, I know that's not really the answer you're looking for, but
I'm curious from an engineering perspective, like how you would explain the difference between limb launch and LSM launch, and what the power differences are, like the power requirements between the two.
Okay, what can we say about that? I have to tread lightly because there's how it goes. You guys know how it is. There's only so much we can talk about sometimes, but differences between limb and LSM. I would say the biggest difference is the power component is always attached to the track. On an LSM coaster, essentially the motor, what we call the motor portion of the LSM that's what's attached to the track, and the vehicles are always equipped with a permanent magnet, and that is what the motor interaction is for an LSM. On a limb coaster, attached to the coaster is just a limb fin, and it's not a permanent magnet, but the magnetic force comes from the limb motor itself. So, a little bit vague maybe, but that's the general idea.
Linear synchronous motors use less power, so with a linear induction motor you can get a faster launch or a more powerful launch, but it uses a lot more power, so that's why the industry has moved more towards linear synchronous motors. I am honestly not sure.
Yeah, I think it's getting a little too much in the details, more than we can share right now, unfortunately. I'm not sure how we're doing on time. Maybe one or two more questions.
We're way ahead of schedule, so keep going if you want.
I was just going to say, I'm an electrician engineer, 20 years in the Navy. The difference between limbs and LSM is basically one means induction, one means synchronous. The loss of power is because basically the synchronous motor has a steady magnet. It already has potential energy in it. The induction causes the electrician into the induction, so there's that power loss. It's about a 10% power loss. But it basically depends on the size of the trains and the size of the magnets. But it's about a 10% loss.
Thank you.
determine height requirements?
Are you talking height requirements for the riders or height requirements for the size of the ride? For the riders, it's all safety. It's basically safety, and that's really it's not a super detailed answer, but that's really the bottom line is we want to keep everybody safe.
We have to follow the ASTM standards for that as well. When you hit certain G-forces, the height requirement and restraint requirement changes for the riders.
So Romeo was sort of early to the multi-pass launch craze that we're seeing right now. Could you all talk a little bit about what the advantages of that are for the park and if you expect to see more of that moving forward?
Efficiency, pretty much. It's an efficient way to accelerate the vehicle. You're using the same stators multiple times.
Less track, less money.
And I think they're a lot of fun. You get to go backwards and forwards multiple times. Yeah, it's overall like it's a win-win in my mind.
Anyone else?
Are there any computer programs like that you use to design the ride that are available to the public, to, like, if we wanted to create something ourselves?
We use like a number of different software, from like regular CAD software to like for Excel. Like I love Excel. I do so much in Excel. We use a lot of stuff. Some of it is we can't really talk too much about, unfortunately.
Thank you.
But yeah. All right, I think we're all good. Thank you guys for the questions. I appreciate it. These are our social media pages. We love engaging with you guys. Our marketing department loves engaging with you guys. So please, if you have photos of premiere rides, please feel free to tag us or post and reach out. We love seeing your photos because you guys all take the best photos. So, thank you. Thank you again to SeaWorld and Busch Gardens and Ace for throwing this. This has been, really great. Appreciate it. I apologize for the weather, everyone. It's unfortunate.
Real quick, I want to chime in and just say, in terms of social media, we have to capture this event if you guys don't mind. So we're just going to turn around. Can we take a group selfie with you guys? Do you mind?